Listen, since April 2011, kind of October 2010, but mostly April 2011, when the South had that super tornado outbreak from April 25th to the 27th, I became a weather nerd. Like, I thought if I was gonna be scared of it, instead of maybe being so scared of it, I should learn about it, and then hopefully that will help my fears a little bit. And it did a little bit. And now, I'm such a tornado nerd, and I really love natural disaster movies because of how ridiculous they are. Like, even from the movies that are supposed to be a little more serious to freaking Sharknado. And listen, when we found out that Twisters was gonna be a thing, can you believe I'm gonna get so yelled at for this? I haven't seen your first Twister in full, I don't think. If I have, I do not remember, and I know I need to go back and watch it because obviously it's the classic. But when I found out that Twisters was gonna be a thing and Glen Powell was in it, I love Glen Powell so much. I think he's becoming one of my favorite actors. Like, right now the roster is Austin Nichols, One Tree Hill, David Castaneda, Umbrella Academy, which is coming back soon, and now Glen Powell is like in this because Set It Up is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I liked Anyone But You, not as much as Set It Up. I don't think the chemistry was as there, but Twisters. And now he's also going to be in Running Man, but let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I knew that when it was essentially my birthday present, the release date, right? My birthday is July 16th, and this came out July 19th. I knew this is my birthday present, okay? Oh, I love Twisters so much. I've seen it. Actually, I think I've only seen it twice. It was supposed to be 3 times, but life got in the way. And funny enough, on my second rewatch, I missed the original last open captioning show because we had real life Twisters here in Nebraska. The big old windstorm that had category 2 hurricane winds kept me from being able to see it a second time. But then I did see it a second time. I caught a show an hour later and I had to use the caption stick. But you know what? That's fine, because I would watch that movie without any captioning access if I really had to. That's a very rare thing for me to say. You have to have my absolute favorite people. It also helps if I've already seen it. And also, I need to have my hearing aids in, of course. Honestly, actually, no, I don't care. Give me the whole movie anyway. That's a very rare thing for me to say, okay? But also, I knew that when my favorite meteorologist I hated to leave in North Carolina, Brad Panovic, approved the movie, okay? He had good things to say about it, although there were a few mess ups in it. I knew even more, like, I need to watch this. I love Glen Powell. I've been really liking Daisy lately. I've seen her in Where the Crawdads Sing, or whatever that's called. I haven't read the book. I have the book, but I haven't read it yet, but I've seen the movie. I like those two. I like those two together. They definitely have some good chemistry together. I'm still team Glenn and Zoe, though. But anyhow, I really like this movie. It isn't as ridiculous as like other, natural disaster movies. Like, I've seen San Andreas Fault and honestly anything anything else. Like we know Sharknado isn't supposed to be serious, but any of the other movies that are supposed to be somewhat serious, this is actually good. So this movie, they did a lot of research with meteorologists, so making sure, like, hey, does this in my script kind of match up? Like, nothing's gonna be 100% perfect, and meteorologists and storm chasers have covered that. But, like, for the most part, like, they were taking this seriously, right? I will say, the thing that got me to have me roll my eyes both times, and it's in, like, the first 5 minutes. Why are we talking about how the Doppler isn't showing anything in the future forecast? That's not what the Doppler does. The Doppler tells you now and before. There's no future forecast happening with the Doppler radar. Get out of here. Why didn't anybody catch that in the script? But anything like about the nitty gritty, down to the nitty gritty science stuff with the polymer and whatever, don't ask me anything about that. That's out of my realm. But God, I loved this so much. I loved seeing, you have like real storm chasers as background actors and whatnot. And I loved Kate's character. Javi was okay. Whatever. It was fun to see Kiernan. I just did a video on Longlegs and I cannot remember her name fully. I just watched Longlegs and then I didn't realize she was in Longlegs, and then I was watching this and I'm like, this girl looks so familiar. And I didn't realize who she was until I saw the credits roll, and I'm like, it's Sabrina. And also the guy, God, what is his name? Praveen? Something like that in this film. He was in an escape room. And you know there's a line in Twisters when the girl goes, you know, you haven't been much fun since you've been struck by lightning. And I'm like, he's been struck by lightning and he's drowned in a frozen lake. I wouldn't be very much fun either, because he drowned in a frozen lake minutes after he was almost burnt to a crisp in a 400-degree oven, or 450-degree oven, 451, because of the book Fahrenheit, and that was a clue in the book, or a clue in Escape Room, I think. I wouldn't be much fun either if, you know, things keep trying to kill me and it's some sort of natural disaster element. I wouldn't be as fun either, but I didn't realize that until also after. I thought he was familiar, and then I was like, wait, and I was watching it with somebody the second time, and I was like, have you seen Escape Room? He's like, yeah, and I'm like, that's him. It's not a spoiler alert really, because it's the first act. The group, almost everybody except Kate and Javi, they kicked the bucket. You know this already because they're not in the trailer, they're not in the movie poster, okay? So don't yell at me about that. Glen Powell as Tyler Owens was the time of my life. He does kind of play, I haven't seen Hitman, but from what I've seen in the trailer, they kind of have similar like characteristics, and Glenn does seem to be almost sort of typecast as the guy who like seems to be like a jackass, but he actually has, you know, a really good heart. I don't mind it. Let me have that, okay? I haven't seen him in Top Gun. I know he's in there, and I think, are they making a sequel? I don't remember, but I'm excited to see him in that. I need to go see Top Gun Maverick, because I really like the chemistry between the two. I don't know if I like it as much as Glenn and Zoe, but I think those are two completely different storylines. They are two different sets of characters. And Kate's story had me definitely emotional bit, because I mean, you know, you're dealing with the grief of losing your friends, and you kind of feel like it's your fault. And Javi was an okay character. I didn't hate him. I wasn't like, you know, wowed by him either. Although one thing about Javi, that it's not Javi's fault, but I can't figure this out. So when they're in the theater and he's shutting the door and he says, the script says damn, the captions say damn, but I swear he said fuck. But I'm not sure if that's what he said, and nobody will answer my question on if I'm right. But I asked my friend when he was watching it with me, and he just said, well, yeah, he's just kind of screaming. I'm like, really? I mean, this is a hearing guy versus me and my hearing aids, but I don't know. Can someone help me out there? It's still getting on my nerves that I don't know. Twisters is, you know, more realistic, I want to say, on the natural disaster movie front. Of course, there's a little bit of Hollywood. I mean, it's a movie, it's a Hollywood movie, they're gonna have that little bit, and it's always with fire. But it didn't look too bad. Like some CGI in movies, especially natural disaster ones, you're like, what the hell am I watching? But it balanced out pretty nicely. The movie made me want to do a closet overhaul. It made me want to have like actual kind of more actual outfits. I live in the Midwest now, like right now I'm just still in oversized t-shirts and bike shorts. And of course, you know, or you have the feeling that Tyler and Kate, you know, like each other. They've only known each other for like a week, so let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. There was the end. You would think, huh, they're probably gonna kiss. They don't kiss. There is a scene somewhere on film, you know, it's been recorded, but they cut it out. And I see why. I can't remember who said it. I think it was Glenn and Daisy having an interview, and they said, yeah, there's a kiss scene, we did it, but the director felt like it was just gonna be better if we cut it out. Like, let's just focus on, you know, Kate's story. She didn't want to storm chase anymore because she had survivor's guilt, and now she's, you know, she's gone back into it because she's got to help people again. And Tyler was like, you know, don't be afraid to storm chase again, like what happened wasn't your fault, and you know, whatever. So it was nice to see her getting back into that, and then she got to finish the project that she always wanted to do, which was tame a freaking tornado, which, if I recall, is one of the things that you can't really do. I believe that's what one of the meteorologist reviews said. So yeah, watching that, I'm sitting here like, are they gonna kiss? Are they gonna kiss? And they don't kiss, but it's pretty obvious that they probably went on a storm chasing day after. And if they were to ever make an actual sequel, because Twisters is a sequel, but it's a standalone sequel. Nothing's really connected except for the fact that Bill Paxton's son played the angry motel guy. That's pretty much it, as far as I can tell. But if they were to make like an actual sequel that's connected to Twisters, what would they call the third installment? You already have Twister, you have Twisters. Twisters squared? No. But I can imagine they would probably be together by that point, you know, like officially. I like the movie. I think there are still a couple of more screenings available, but I think I'm just gonna hold off and wait until it's out on streaming, or when the DVD comes out, the Blu-ray, whatever. You're probably gonna see me getting it, because I really liked it. I want to watch it again, but let me know what you thought in the comments. Let's have a conversation, and you can yell at me to watch the very first movie. I know, I will eventually. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. And also, if you would like more movie reviews, commentary, I have a Patreon, and yeah, that's one main way to support my work, and I definitely very much appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet, because I have filmed so many movie reviews today, so you don't really want to miss those, I don't think. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I very much appreciate it, and I will see you later.